So you want to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but you either don't remember or have never played the games that led up to it. Well, the best thing to do would be to get the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD collection and the 2.8 HD collection together, or the Stories So Far collection, which has every game in one set on PS4, and play them for yourself to get the full experience. But of course, not everyone has a PS4. Some of you Xbox players are seriously up a creek, since Kingdom Hearts 3 is the first Kingdom Hearts game to come to the platform. Not everyone has time to play several 30-hour-long games just to understand the conclusion of a storyline that has been building for 16 years. So, here's my video series that will hopefully help you get caught up before you play Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the bottom line for Kingdom Hearts, where I will explain one game at a time and only the plot points you need to really know. No wasting time with Disney plotlines that don't ultimately relate to the main narrative. Today we'll be summarizing the events of Kingdom Hearts Coded, which was once a mobile game and then ported to the Nintendo DS and renamed Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Specifically, I'll be going over the cinematic retelling of the story presented in the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix collection. Let's make the intro short this time, and get straight into Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Our story begins shortly after Sora has returned to the Destiny Islands after defeating Organization 13 during Kingdom Hearts 2. Gemini is browsing through his old journal that had been completely wiped clean of every entry he had ever written, except for Thank Naminé, though he still does not remember who she is. On the very last page, he finds a new message, one he knows he did not write. Their hurting will be mended when you return to end it. Gemini then takes the journal to Mickey and asks for help. Mickey then calls on Chip and Dale for help in converting the journal into data, so that they can investigate the mysterious message as well as the entries that have been erased. As the journal is uploading to the computer, it turns out that it had been infected with some kind of virus represented by red blocks. Mickey comes up with the idea of getting help from someone inside the journal, and since the journal is the written collection of Sora's first adventure, they request for the data Sora's help and program him a Keyblade of his own. Mickey makes contact with Sora and asks him to investigate the blocks appearing in the data version of the Destiny Islands, where he finds the robed boy speaking in rhymes and riddles, telling him to unlock the keyhole. Sora does so, and a bright light emanates from the Keyblade, and he faces a dark side about to destroy his world. As he defeats it, a new message appears. Then, a data version of Riku is approached by Ansem before he is transported through the darkness. Mickey and crew are puzzled, as this event didn't match what happened in the past, and supposedly, all of Gemini's records should be reflected in the journal. As they try to solve the mystery, Sora continues to other worlds and cures each one of the invasion of blocks and glitches. Eventually, Sora follows the hooded figure through a corridor and ends up in the library of Disney Castle with Mickey and the others. Startled and confused as to how this is possible, the cloaked person appears and reveals himself to be Riku, or rather, a data version of Riku, who is the manifestation of Gemini's journal. He says that the missing data was placed into him for safekeeping from the glitches, but that he brought Mickey and company into the journal for more help. However, the only way for them to return to the outside world is being blocked by another intruder, and the team must solve the problem with the glitches first. Soon they discover that Pete was sent into the datascape along with Mickey and his crew. Here he called for Maleficent, and the two began to devise a way to take over the data world. Eventually, Maleficent trounces Sora and notices something odd about his Keyblade. Using her magic, she manages to shatter it, a normally impossible feat. She then gets away with Riku, saying she has plans to use him for her scheme. Mickey then admits to Sora that his Keyblade was never real, only a replica programmed out of data. Since Sora can no longer fight, Mickey goes out to Hollow Bastion on his own to try and get rid of the last remaining glitches. Sora follows, even though he is powerless without his Keyblade. Goofy and Donald come to his rescue and help him track down Pete.
We've got you, Pete! Stop!
Oh, hey, whoa! Couldn't get nothing done by yourself, so you went crying to your doofus pals. Well, too bad! Ain't gonna do you lick a good, see?
Heartless!
And that's not all!
Sorry! Look out! Crap!
Or a sandwich.
Donald! Goofy!
I do now?
Why the blazes would you chumps risk your necks for a lump of data? Why, he's a phony. You guys made him, and that Keyblade of his, he's not even real.
Oh, why don't you be quiet? Show us our friend, no matter what.
Donald.
Huh, some friend. He ain't nothing more than an empty shell. The kid doesn't even have a heart.
That's not true. We've all got Sora's heart right here inside us.
What a load of bunk.
You'll see it if you're paying attention. Why would Sora keep fighting for us, no matter how hard things got for him, if he didn't care about us?
And me and Donald, we're always gonna fight for him too. That's because he's in our hearts as much as we're inside of his. Something else, and I can say this for sure. Sora is our friend, and that makes him our power. Let's say it together. My friends are my power.
My friends are my power.
Oh, enough with the mush already. You mugs are done, see? And I bet all that power can't protect you now.
Donald! Goofy! Please, just stop!
Time to say good night.
Let him go! Huh? What just happened? Is it the Keyblade?
How'd you get that? Seriously, Maleficent crushed that thing like it was a bug.
Sora, it looks to me like something inside of you has been changed somehow.
Huh? Mickey, but what did I do? What was inside of me that changed?
I can't say what it is for sure, but I think a new part of you has been awakened. The Keyblade's power comes from the wielder's strength of heart. Once, an old friend said to me, a heart is so much more than any system. The Keyblade we gave you before was one we created. It was nothing but data. To tell you the truth, I never expected it to have the same kind of power as the real Keyblade. That weapon was just a replica. It didn't have any substance. That's why Maleficent could destroy it so easily. But during your journey, you really made a connection with all of us. You've become more than the system, Sora. The power you've found inside of you isn't like anybody else's. And when you access that power, that's what brought your Keyblade back. Well, and that's what I believe anyway. Only you had the power to do it.
A power that's just mine.
Yep. I think that's right.
Afterwards, Sora chases after Pete, who loads Riku with glitches in order to corrupt him and make him attack Sora. Once Riku is incapacitated, Sora enters Riku's data to free him from all the bugs. With this, the journal is completely reconstructed, and the connection to the outside world is restored. However, in that last moment, a strong force awakens inside the keyhole. Sora goes to investigate, finding what Riku deduces to be the data of Sora's Heartless that was created when he freed Kairi's heart in the original game, which had gained strength by absorbing glitches. Once Sora and Mickey team up to defeat it, it's time for them to finally part ways. But there is a catch. Once the journal entries are put into their proper places, the events of the adventure they just had will be erased, and the inhabitants of the journal will forget Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy. After saying goodbye, Mickey and the gang return to the castle. Meanwhile, Maleficent has an epiphany about the journal's world, as though she had been to another world of data before. She says that there is a book of prophecies that contain all knowledge of the future and can even create projections of worlds and people who have yet to exist. She then begins to formulate a plan to locate the book and use it to take over every world that has or will exist. As Mickey and crew settle down, they are contacted by Riku, who is unaffected by the memory wipe due to the journal's data being stored inside him. He tells them that another world has appeared, and will likely lead them to the answers in the mysterious message that began their journey in the first place. Mickey puts Sora through the ropes again, but this time he meets him in Traverse Town to send him to the new world, Through the keyhole, Sora comes to Castle Oblivion and meets another hooded figure. This figure, a Data version of Roxas, informs him that his climb through the castle will introduce him to strangers and friends he will immediately forget after parting with them, and that it will cause him great pain, referencing his own feelings about losing Xion. He invites Sora to do whatever he pleases, even fight them and do harm to these people if he wants to, since they are only illusions and don't really exist. Sora, however, tells him that he would never abuse people just because he has the freedom to, and he would never be able to get over the guilt of doing so. But as Sora climbs to each floor, he finds he feels grief for forgetting the people he meets. Roxas tells him that the hurt will cause darkness to overtake him, and that he should simply stop caring about the ones he's forgotten, and leave the castle to make it easier on himself. But Sora believes that the pain will give him answers, and make him stronger if he can endure it till the end. Finally, he meets Roxas on the second to last floor.
You've used up all the cards, I take it? I would ask if you enjoyed your little trip. But we both know that you've forgotten it. That you're feeling pretty empty.
No, I'm not. I may not remember who I met, but I do remember that I met them. And knowing that I've forgotten them, I miss them.
So you hurt. I warned you. Don't you remember what I said? That hurt will drag you down into the darkness. You have to get rid of all of it.
No, I don't. I can keep the hurt because it reminds me of something important. It lets me know that what I've forgotten is crucial. That's enough. I won't run from it. It'll stay inside of my heart until the day I remember.
The darkness will take you first.
If I put the hurt aside, I'll lose my ties to all the people I care about. My mind's made up. I may end up falling into the darkness, but I'll carry this with me. I'll only get rid of it when I remember everything, and not a day sooner than that. I'll keep the hurt with me for the time being. It's all that I have. It's what holds the pieces in place. I accept that.
You say you accept it? It's not a game! It's way past time that you learned what real hurt feels like! Come on, Sora. Do it! Finish me off! Why won't you do it? I get it. You've seen through my disguise. I'm just like everyone else you've encountered in this place, made of data. I'm not even worth the effort. Is that what it is? Guess there's no point in destroying something if it never existed. Is that right?
Not at all. You say that you're an illusion, but you certainly pack a really big punch. You said that you'd show me hurt, and you weren't wrong. Actually, the hurt that I just felt was more than that. Sure, it might have hurt while we were fighting, but I sensed a different kind of hurt from you. It was kind of like an intense, sharp pain. But it felt sort of familiar. Almost like it was my own. As if we'd been connected. Like right then we shared the same hurt. If somehow it brings me closer to people in that kind of way, then carrying around a little hurt can't be all that bad.
be all that bad. Alright, I give up. Here. You pass, Sora. Congratulations, you understand hurt. Now, use this to find the truth.
What do you mean?
My role was to see if you were ready to take ownership of the hurt inside you. And now that role is done. Nothing left for me to do but go away.
Are you gonna go back home?
I don't know if I really have one. But there's a place I'd like to be.
A place? Where? Oh! What's this feeling? I've got memories that don't belong to me. A place to call home. And a sunset that's comforting. My first and my last
summer vacation.
You can rest easy. I've got you now.
At last, Sora comes to the end with Mickey now having caught up with him. They meet a data version of Naminé, who tells him that the bugs in the journal were caused by memories being placed into Sora's heart that did not belong to him while he was sleeping during 358 over 2 days. These memories belong to Roxas, as well as his grief about Axel, Xion, Naminé, and his own existence. However, there are other memories, ones that belong to someone else tied to Sora's heart, that of Ventus, and his own grief about the fate of himself, Terra, and Aqua. This is the meaning behind the message, "Their hurting will be mended when you return to end it." Sora's next goal will be to save all these people from their pain and fate. Mickey then returns to the castle and begins to pen the letter he will send to Sora after Kingdom Hearts 2, speaking about all those he has ties with and needs to rescue, spurring him on to his next adventure. He then goes to Yen Sid to report that they have come close to finding Ven's missing heart. However, Yen Sid is worried about what Xehanort has planned now that Ansem and Xemnas have been destroyed and his original body has been reconstructed. He also fears that Xehanort may not be alone in his newest plot, or even that there may be more than one of him. He orders Mickey to send for both Sora and Riku in order to take the Mark of Mastery exam, and prepare for their next and most dangerous endeavor. Finally, Braig is now reformed along with the other apprentices, as well as Lee and Isa, after their nobodies and heartless were destroyed. He speaks to a young silver-haired boy, who says his fate is tied with Master Xehanort, and his ancient no-name Keyblade. Just before the scene ends, Braig asks who will be the unfortunate soul for their newest plot, and the boy speaks the beginning of a name starting with S, just before we are left in the dark until the next entry in the series.